AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Ian Begley reported on the targeting of Clint Capela over there in Atlanta.
When you say "are targeting," I'm hesitant to speak in the present tense just because things can change every 5 minutes in the NBA, and particularly at this time of year. But I will say that Clint Capela, Atlanta, was one big that the Knicks had checked in on. And I don't know kind of how far talks went. I don't know if they're active at this very moment, but they did check in on Capela. And, you know, you can infer that Mitchell Robinson would have probably been in that trade because Capela is a starting center. Or maybe the Knicks would have said Robinson and Capela could be our platoon at center this season. But nonetheless, Capela, higher salary, veteran center that they did check in on. I think most likely outcome is the Knicks add a backup center and they go into training camp with this group as is. But yeah, they had them active in.
All right. Your music was way too loud, Ian. Number one. Number two, if you ain't want us in your business like that with all that music, all you do is say so. I don't know if you guys got to hear, but he wasn't sure if the Knicks were going after Capela. And if they were, more than likely, Mitchell Robinson was going to be traded for Clint Capela. And then he mentioned about there being a platoon with Capela and Mitchell Robinson. So that was kind of confusing to me. He's probably tired because that guy's always reporting on the Knicks and the latest news. And he's reporting to you guys on Twitter as well, just keeping up with everything. How would you feel about Clint Capela coming to the New York Knicks, AllBall?
I would love it. I mean, I wouldn't want to trade Mitchell Robinson for him, though. I don't know. How will we be able to get Clint Capela without giving up Mitch? Is that possible?
I think with the draft picks and everything, Atlanta's not in a good position to be telling people what to do.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
All right, but what I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure we would have to give up more than draft picks, right? Correct?
Yeah, because of the money thing. Now that I'm like, I don't fully understand all the tax stuff. I mean, the salary cap stuff, but it sounds like you can't be taking more less money back on deals, and that's a big deal to just take a trade now. You can't just give them money anymore, especially if you're in the second apron, if I'm not mistaken. So everything is changing as far as that goes. So I think we do need to offer a player.
Well, I mean, I see the chat, man. Gregory Lee is making a good point. You know, it's almost like, to me, they're similar players. Clint Capela and Mitchell Robinson. Now, see, for me, I do think we need a big that can spread the floor. Why that can't be Julius Randle? So, you know, I'm being honest. To have, like, if we get Clint Capela and could keep Mitch, we should be the best defensive team in the NBA. And we should be the best rebounding team in the NBA. Like, I like Clint Capela. I think he's getting drowned over there in Atlanta. They're wasting his career. Because what he can do on the boards and defending the rim is he's up there with everybody.
Right.
So I think if we could have both of those guys where they could be in the lineup at the same time down the stretch, because now we could compete with the big teams as well, with the Milwaukees, with the Bostons, with the Phillies. You get what I'm saying? So I would love it if we could keep Mitchell Robinson. You know, of course, we're not getting rid of none of our main guys, but to have two bigs like that, because if what's the difference of trading for Kessler? And we would want him. Why would we not want Clint Capela?
I think that's where it was a great question that led to my feeling, where I didn't really watch much of Atlanta, but the way I remember Flea and Dom specifically, I forgot if it was separate games or whatever, but it was within like the same week period. Flea and Dom were just watching the Atlanta games, and they were like, yo, Clint Capela does not look the same. That was the last I heard of him. So if he's not the same guy, he used to be very springy. He looks like he gained some weight to me. And he's a veteran, so he's been around the block. He's played with James Harden, Trae Young, so he understands his role. The only reason he makes sense is with Kolick, because even with Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims and these high flyers, we still don't have a guy that throws that ball up like that. So it's going to be harder for him to really get points. But to your point, how are we interested in Walker Kessler if he is the younger version of Clint Capela and the Mitchell Robinson? Who's going to give him easy baskets? But if we are going after that type of player, we might as well go after Kessler because he could potentially replace Mitchell Robinson. I don't see Clint Capela doing that in the next 3 to 5 years. Kessler has the potential to replace Mitchell Robinson and play backup as of right now. And he's already CAA. So I think he's a better fit for just a bunch of reasons. To your original question, if it don't cost us as much, why wouldn't you go after Capela? He's just a throw-in, especially if he has a. Let me check out his contract real quick. If it's a cheap contract, why not?
But while you checking on that, I think he's more than a throw-in. Like, and the reason why I think I could be wrong that he's struggling. Listen, man, probably don't want to be in Atlanta no more. Atlanta is a mess. Imagine coming to a new team, Come on, look what the Knicks did for Hartenstein's career. Why that can't happen for Clint Capela? Revive his whole, so I think, guys get depressed. Look what happened with Klay Thompson. That don't just happen like that. Stuff like that be mental, personal. I think Clint Capela need a new home, a new place, a new fan base, and to be playing for something. You out there in Atlanta, they ain't playing for nothing. You don't know what's going on out there. So yeah, but what's the contract situation?
So he'll be making $20 million that was last season. So the next upcoming season is $22 million. Okay, that changes everything a lot. Not for nothing, but that changes everything. He's on the last year of his deal. Oh, I like that. Because if you get him, you could rent him. That's like a rental. And now if he's gone by the end of the season, you can afford everybody a little bit more, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's why it makes sense to trade Mitchell Robinson or whoever it is. And then the salary cap looks different at the end of the year, bro. Just like again, a lot of these guys out here, you guys are the capologists. I'm just guessing right now. But I know ain't nothing ever going to change about somebody being on the last year of their deal. I know Golden State messed the hell up last season by not having a trade in place for Chris Paul when he's in the last year of his deal, where he's not guaranteed whatever it is, the $30 million. Anybody would have wanted that off their books, but you did not time that right. It's just like D'Angelo Russell when he went from the Nets to the Warriors. The Warriors wanted that contract to trade for somebody, and they got Andrew Wiggins and flipped it into a championship piece. They thought that was going to happen this season, but they didn't plan it right because that wasn't Bob Myers anymore. Now with the Knicks having these one-year deals, that's what we had. Think about how we had Bogey and Alec Burks recently.
Right.
Burks just turned into Bridges basically right, just now. So imagine what Capela could lead to. I'm not saying it's going to be another big piece like that, but we can pay these guys a little bit more maybe. Brunson is, and Randall, we'll get to in a second. The contract extensions are going to be the talk of the summer. So, damn, that 1 year left, 1 year deal is major because you're going to have suitors out there. You're going to have the Pistons and all these guys that want to get rid of that cap money, especially later on in the season where people thought they were going to be competing for something and then they don't. And then they got to drop. The Phoenix Suns are interested in Clint Capela right now. 1,000%.
Yeah. A lot of teams is going to be interested in him.
They're in the mud. They're in the mud, bro. Like, let's be honest. If you know basketball, it would take a super duper performance from Kevin Durant, and we've yet to see that for 82 games and the playoffs. That's just not who he is. Get put together. And he hasn't been that guy like that. And then Devin Booker's not like that apparently. And then Bradley Beal was just an awful. That's the reason why you need Capela to dump Beal. To absorb that contract for at least one season. Because Jesus, that's insane with that trade. I don't understand what's going on over there, but it does make sense. There's another billionaire takes over another team and they're going through problems. But I digress. Capela is definitely an interest for too many teams out there and could potentially be a piece. And this is why, going back to what we said before, we don't necessarily have to be trading or making commitments with anybody. These guys are developing relationships. These
Yo. Well, listen, while Fabian is gone, I mean, we need a backup center. So, you know, if we trade Mitch for Clint Capela, we in the same boat. We're still going to need a backup center. So for me, I don't. You back?
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what happened. This thing knocked me out, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So for me, I was saying that the Knicks or anybody that's in this position, they're in position to just fish for information and look to see what's going on, because it's not just the move right now. These guys are clearly thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. They just are. And they're helping each other out. With Dolan coming out, going against the league, he's on fire. Your man thinks he's part of the Justice League right now, going crazy, James Dolan. F the league. He's on some F the league. So I'm respecting James Dolan by the day. And I think the players do too. You see the former players out there. We got the right culture, the right atmosphere, like we've been repeating nonstop. So I just love what's going on right now, boy.
Well, I mean, great point. But, you know, trading him for Mitch puts us in the same boat. We still need a backup center. So that's why, for me, that's our problem right now. So I don't see us trading him for Mitch. We need a backup center. So if we trade him for Mitch, we still going to need a backup center. But I would love Clint Capela over here. Like I said, he's legit. I always liked this game, even when he was in Houston with James Harden. Like, he does his job. He knows his job. Roll to the rim, protect the basket, rebound, and defend. And he has no problem doing that. Guys like that you need on the team. So for me, it makes sense, because look at Philly getting Drummond. We know Brook Lopez, Giannis. Then, you know, with Boston, they got Al Horford, they got Porzingis. Those are the teams we're going to have to deal with. Cleveland, listen, they still got their 2 bigs, Jared Allen, Mobley. So, and Orlando will put out a lineup that's 6'9" and better. So, listen, man, you know, it also helps us with another big body, because we don't need no more guards. We need big bodies, you know. So, I would love to get Clint Capela over here, but any of those bigs, Kessler, you know, we definitely need a backup center.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.